Davos might have missed some big names and even bigger countries this time. But India went with the aim of making a mark. Attendance from China, Japan, and Korea was sparse this year. And of course, we heard nothing from Russia or much from Ukraine attendees. This is what Gautam Adani, chairman of Adani Group, wrote about his experience at Davos 2022. Even as the world's rich and powerful descended on Davos, the sentiment at the World Economic Forum's annual meeting wasn't the same as before. Consider the conspicuous absence of many titans of finance. According to Bloomberg, the chiefs of JP Morgan Chase and Goldman Sachs were not in attendance. Neither was BlackRock Inc.'s Larry Fink or Blackstone's Steve Schwarzman. Meanwhile, nearly 100 participants and dozens of political leaders from India attended the World Economic Forum and presented the country's position on the energy situation, food security, and health equity at Davos. And India's enthusiasm was well founded. Here's what Business Standard reported from Davos. India found itself at the center of many dialogues on emerging issues, ranging from climate change to crypto technologies. European business leaders were eagerly scouting options for diversifying trade and investments. India appeared to be the best option for most of them, thanks to its political stability and reformist policies. Many global investors endorsed India's rising economic relevance. For example, Saint-Gobain global CEO Benoit Bazin said that the company plans to invest over 5,500 crore rupees in the next 4 years in India. Bazin was bullish about the 45 billion euro company's growth story in India. David Rubenstein, co-founder of the private equity Carlyle Group, told reporters in Davos that India has been more attractive to buy assets of late than China. Clearly, India benefited from the absence of China and concerns over its heavy-handed zero-COVID strategy.
India's strategy at Davos 2022 is very clear: to present itself as a stable, dynamic, growing emerging market at a time when Europe and US are troubled by the war in Ukraine. At the same time, issues of uncertainty in the markets as well as rising specter of inflation is worrying global investors. India has made sure that the state governments and the central government are aligned on the positioning to ensure that brand India is forcefully presented to everybody at Davos.
Ministers from several state governments, including those of Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, and Madhya Pradesh, were also in Davos to attract global investors. Andhra Pradesh reportedly signed renewables investment pacts cumulatively worth about 1,600 crore rupees with 3 companies. The investment commitments were made with India's Adani Green Energy, GIC-backed Greenco, and India's Aurobindo Realty and Infrastructure. The Maharashtra delegation reportedly signed at least 23 MOUs worth 30,000 crore rupees. Of these investments, more than 55% are by way of FDI from the US, Singapore, Indonesia, and Japan. The team, led by Karnataka Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai, inked MOUs with 2 major companies for a total investment flow of 52,000 crore rupees. India also took its vibrant startup story, already featuring daily in the domestic news, to the world stage. Consider the fact that along with several legacy leaders, the Indian delegation also included unicorn founders such as Zerodha's Nikhil Kamath, Ease My Trip's Prashant Pitti, Ashish Singhal of CoinSwitch, and Vidit Atre of Meesho. With the government proudly referring to the rise of unicorns in India, the founders were pleasantly surprised by the attention they were getting from delegates from India and abroad.
Joining me at Davos 2022 for a 1-minute conversation is Prashant Pitti. He is the co-founder of Ease My Trip. How's it been for you, Prashant? This is your first time in Davos?
This is my first time and I'm loving it so far. This is just the second day. and I've rubbed off into so many great set of people. I'm really looking forward for the next few days. You know, honestly speaking, since it's my first time, I cannot compare it with the last time, but I am seeing brand India really, really exuberantly well accepted across the world. I was just mentioning this earlier to somebody that I met somebody at Indonesia Pavilion yesterday, and he was super excited that we could bring Isma trip to Indonesia because it's India Tech. This is the kind of value and the confidence people have across in the world now on the tech which is India. The unicorn story of India has done absolutely well, and the world is looking towards India for the tech solutions now. On almost instantaneously, that person was like, "I'm willing to put in money and grow along with you. We'll see where it goes." But there was a lot of acceptance just because the tech is India, and he's saying that if you have built it for a billion people, it might as well work for my 120 million people work population.
India also adopted a strategy at Davos that was significantly different from previous years. The Indian delegation was focused on improving internal coordination. In fact, before the start of the conference, all the delegates were invited to share their views on India's position. Common responses on several crucial issues were also framed. India appears to have been able to project itself as a politically stable, economically dynamic, and growth-driven investment destination. This attracted investor attention despite the dark clouds of global recession risk, supply chain disruptions, the ongoing war, and energy shortages.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.